Hey y'all, so welcome to the 100th vlog. I'm chilling near everyone at the moment and enjoying my off weekend, but I wanted to say, yeah, it's been a wild journey, man. 2 years coming to an end in around a month from now. It's been wild. There have been so many stories to keep up with, so many crazy things, so much growth that's happened in me as a person, so I wanted to kind of take this vlog to look back, reflect on all the crazy times, all the memories, good times, bad times, hard times, and successes. Everything that it's been for me to be a Peace Corps volunteer. This will probably be a little bit longer of a vlog, but I hope you guys enjoy. See you guys on the other side. To start this story off, you gotta start all the way at the beginning. Before I even came to Armenia, before I even got on the first airplane, I had to apply. And oh my God, did that take forever. 2 years of waiting. I applied during COVID, right as I graduated university. I waited 2 years for an email. And all they would give is every 3 months, they would send one email. Your application is still active. And I was scared. But I knew in the end, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. I had a job working as a snowboard coach in the meantime, and I wasn't going to do anything too crazy until I got definitive I'm going or I'm not. So I had to wait for a very long time. And then we got the okay, got the go ahead, and I shipped out March 11th. I shipped out to Philadelphia on the way over. Once I got to the Denver airport to come over to Philadelphia for our staging event, where we would go and learn and gather some information and things that we would need to know before entering Armenia, having our passports, what to do if we have student debt, things like that. I met 3 of the volunteers that were going with me, Pablo, George, and Arena, who all 3 would become very good friends of mine down the road. We had a crazy time coming together, and we were all so nervous. We ended up sitting at the same table, sharing some memories, getting to know each other, doing icebreakers and such. There was only 16 of us. We knew it was always going to be a small group, but the Peace Corps of old had groups of 44 plus volunteers. So we were all crazy scared. The first group back from COVID. What are we all gonna do? We all still had to wear masks. It was a wild time. We ended up going to an old returned Peace Corps volunteer from Armenia. We went to their house, had some pizza, and it ended up being a very good time. And I still remember looking back on those days fondly, but that was the last time I was really in the US for any meaningful amount of time. Before we knew it, we were off to this land that not many of us knew much of anything about. I know I personally hadn't really heard much of Armenia outside of learning about what the genocide was in high school. And I had actively decided not to research too much so that I can learn on my way. And it was wild. I ended up moving with this beautiful family who lived out on a farm. We were trained in 3 separate villages. I was lucky to be placed into Noramarg with my very, very close friends Janae, Mark, and Vache as the YD group. And I stayed with this elderly couple named Alina and Kolya. They were the sweetest people, and I stay in touch with them to this day. I go down once a month to say hi, to celebrate, to catch up. They had this wonderful family and lived on a farm, having cows and chickens and fresh vegetables every single day. It was so good. The food was amazing. They were such patient and beautiful people, and I knew nothing. Oh my God, language classes 4 hours a day, as well as technical training classes 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. We had 1 day off, and with that day, we were too tired to do anything, so we just stayed home. We were so exhausted. It was amazing, though. I got to share ukulele. I taught kids how to play frisbee. I brought a football. Oh, it was so much fun. Little did I know what actual service was going to be like. And just as soon as it came, as it felt, we were already done with our educational bits. We were off to meet the ambassador and off to our sites. The tutorial was over. We had learned all that we were going to learn in the first 10 weeks, and we were on our own now. We had to go to our sites, and oh my goodness, I had already dealt with a decent amount of hardship at this point. Russian police had come to our classroom, and dealing with language confusion and different barriers, overcoming them, and I had finally felt like I was hitting my stride. I was so wrong. The language in the different parts of Armenia I had come to learn is so different. Then getting to site, my coworkers, they spoke English, but at an A1, A2 level, so like not great. It was easier if we could do mixed Armenian and English, and there was still so much usage of Google Translate, and I was expected almost immediately to just step up in front of a classroom and lead it in Armenian. There were 2 kids in my entire site in Spitak that spoke English, at least at that time. It was so scary. They brought us on these excursions done only in Armenian, and I had no translation help. They couldn't. Going this way and that way, and at times I had felt like a trophy piece. I was the American for them to show off. But I had come to learn later, now in service, that they were there trying to care for me. That was their way of showing that I'm important to them. They gave me that seat of importance, not because I was something for them to show off, but they wanted to show how much they treasure that I was actually here, that I was making the effort. I brought this forward because my boss and I, at the time, Java here, we had plenty of disagreements, but over time, we learned to communicate with each other. My Armenian improved, her English improved, our work culture improved. I can now call her a very close friend of mine. Also during this time, I made 2 very good friends, Gor and Karen. They are young boys, 18 and 20 respectively, and they were absolutely amazing. They got me into playing guitar from the ukulele. We started a band together. Oh, we had so much fun. So many good memories, singing and playing and horsing around and probably goofing off a little bit more than I should have. But it all adds up. It was such a good time. For those of you watching who know me, you all would know I love the winter. Snowboarding and mountains and the cool air and snow-covered landscapes. I didn't know anything. Armenia's winters are different, man. It stops. The country stops. People don't go out. You won't see people walking. There's barely any snow. It mainly rains. At least in Spitak it did. It was gray and cold and windy and wet, and I couldn't wash my clothes. I had a washing machine, but I didn't have a drying rack inside. It was always raining and too humid outside to dry the clothes. It was crazy experiencing all that for the first time. I had thought, oh, I'm a Coloradan. What sort of winter could get to me? I didn't know. You'd have to go to the stores early. The sun sets at like 5. You're walking around in the dead of night. You don't know when the black ice is going to come and get you. It was a wild time. But also, some of my favorite memories come from this. Because the whole place just shuts down, everybody's in their houses. So you can go and share dinner and coffee with people. And I ended up going to Vonadzor a lot during this time to meet up with good friends of mine, George and Janae. We would there hang out at each other's host families' places, or George had moved into his own apartment. I had moved into my own apartment expecting, oh, it's winter, I'll be fine, I'll be okay. I was so lonely. It was so hard to be alone in Spitak and just nobody to talk to and being on my own. I had made friends with the storekeeps. I would talk to people on the streets, but now nothing was happening. So I came to the realization very quickly that Peace Corps is going to require a certain amount of strength. But at this time, kind of as soon as it starts, I was so happy. My family came to visit me. My mom, my dad, Jojo as well, my younger brother. It was such a great time. I got to show them around to all the beautiful places. We went to Tsakadzor to go snowboarding. I went and introduced them to Java here, my boss at the time, and her family. And we went to Gyumri to where the boss is like the main leaders and HQ of my NGO are, and just had a great time. I introduced them to my old host mother. We celebrated New Year's. Oh my goodness, Armenian New Year's is crazy. People are partying from New Year's Day until January 6th, which is when they celebrate Christmas here. It is just a wild, wild week, and I couldn't have had a better time. After Christmas is when things get hard, but it was a lesson well learned, and I couldn't have been happier that my parents and family were able to support me through the hardest times, and especially through the first holiday season. As my first winter came to a close and spring started to show its beautiful flowers, I was really starting to feel comfortable. My Armenian had gotten quite good by this point, and I had decided to take on a role as a peer trainer. I started to share more. I shared Australian snacks, i.e., Vegemite, with my coworkers. Had a good laugh about that. I shared my favorite chips, the Kettle brand jalapeno chips. Chef's kiss. They're so good. I was feeling really, really good. I was happy to put my best foot forward and really get into the hard work. It was around this time that I started to plan a grant project that I wanted to implement. It was going to be for a musical studio in Spitak, where we would apply for a grant from USAID, and we would use that money to build a music studio for the youth in Spitak, hold music classes, recording classes, sound engineering, technology, how to build networking around it, how to use wiring, how to create the infrastructure and soundproofing, and learn a lot about the physics of sound. So I was very excited to do this project. It was all starting to come together. I was very, very excited for spring. We had done so many cool projects, planting trees in Stepanovan. I had celebrated my first birthday in Vanadzor with good friends. I was really, really happy. I felt really, really strong at that point in service. Felt like anything I did, just every decision I made, every action I took, it was the right one. It was the right step forward. That all came to a screeching halt. Just like that, the rug got pulled out from under me. My work was shutting down. The government, the local government of Spitak, Armenia, decided that our NGO wasn't worth the money it was taking, which really isn't much. We were open 5 days a week, 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., worked with over 400 kids in the community, and to them it wasn't worth it. So I was on my own. The Peace Corps still had my back, and Stepan and I worked very hard to find a good job, to try and stay active, to stay in good communication. And I ended up really enjoying kind of the start of my unemployment. I went home, I saw friends, I traveled around Armenia and saw some beautiful sights, and I didn't realize how hard life could be here without a purpose. I found myself sitting at home for very, very long times and just not leaving, not doing anything, not going for my walks, not saying hi to people, not being able to go to my language classes. It was really hard for me being in Armenia with no purpose when I felt like I really wanted to be in the community. I wanted to serve. I started putting forward ideas like, hey, I can work with the local schools, I can go with local businesses. Like, I know I can't earn money as a Peace Corps volunteer and you guys have to find me a site, but I need to do something. And at the end of the day, we found new work for me, but it wasn't in Spitak. As luck would have it, when my youth house got shut down, a new one had just opened up in a town called Artik. So I went to the camp that we were running. I met with the youth, I met with the workers, and I decided to go. And then I was back on square one. Language, totally different. Culture, totally different. Town, entirely different. No host family to help me integrate into the community. I had to walk along train lines for an hour to and from work every day. It was a very, very big adjustment, and one that I'm still working on step by step today. But I came in right as Halloween hit. We made jack-o'-lanterns. I was able to share some of my favorites about American culture with the kids from day one. So I feel like I was able to fit in with the youth at the youth center generally quickly. It helped that I would bring my guitar and my ukulele and would give music lessons, and kids were different. In Spitak, I felt that the kids were very interested, and because I was so new and so fresh and didn't speak Armenian, kids were like really engaged and wanted to help me learn. But here in Artik, I found specifically two kids. Their names are Martun and Narek, who helped me a lot. They would show me around to the places. They showed me where a gym was so I could start to work out again. Martun was a drummer in a band here, and one of the band members had a music studio. So I would go and hang out with him. Through that music studio, I made a bunch of friends here quite quickly, actually, which was really nice. There was a wonderful Russian couple. There is a bunch of amazing and very, very gifted musicians all around town. So through these two friends, I feel like I'm finally creating my community here in Arctic. It was a really hard transition at first. I had to put all of my things into a car and ship over and figure out everything and learn to wash my clothes by hand and just get used to the fact that life is not the same in every village in Armenia. You might know one way, but that's not every way. Going through all of this and readjusting to a new place, the realization dawned on me. I had 6 months left. I was about to finish my service. I was going through my last New Year's. I didn't have much time left in the country at all. And what had been at the start a 27-month service felt like a lifetime had passed in the blink of an eye. Before I knew it, I had become a person so much stronger, so much more mature, so much more patient, so much more durable than I was in the past. It really was a beautiful moment. And with those feelings, I came into our New Year's. At that time, I was so happy. And I think the people around me could feel that. I went and traveled around the country and saw friends again for New Year's. I was spent time with my old host family in Mossies. I went to Etchmiadzin, the holy center of Armenia. At this time, I met my wonderful girlfriend. We met snowboarding, and during this winter, I was able to go on so many more adventures and get into so many more things, snowboarding and hiking and going back and forth between the city and enjoying escape rooms and just really enjoying the time that I had left. It was really beautiful, and I think my friends around the country and my girlfriend really unlocked that for me. Having this realization that I really needed to treasure the little moments I had left, that opened my mind to so many possibilities and so many wonderful things that I already had in my life that I think I might have been ignoring a lot of this time. So after hearing all of this, I hope you guys could hear how happy I am with my service, how amazing it's been, how personally challenging it's been at times, and how it's forced me to grow. But one thing I think that at least shines through to me is that no matter what I've done, no matter what I've accomplished, this most special and wonderful thing that I can take away from my service here is the bonds that I've made. My girlfriend Aslik, my close friends Janae, George, Tenzin, and all of you guys I've served alongside, my host family Kolya and Alina, my boss Javahir, everybody I've worked with, all the youth I've worked with, my close friends Gor, Karin. I hope you guys know that that's those who are truly special to me. That's what I'm going to remember about my time here. And I wanted to end off with some words from them. So here are some of their favorite stories.
Hi, I'm Harry's girlfriend. Still feels kind of cool to say that aloud. So we actually met while snowboarding, and I didn't see his face at first. Just a snowboarding mask, goggles, and this mysterious vibe that made me think I like this person. I don't know how, but I had a good feeling about the guy behind of the mask, and I was right. He turned out to be one of the purest, kindest humans I ever met. It's been 4 months now, and honestly, my life has completely changed since he came into it. Sometimes I just sit there thinking, where were you before this? What took you so long? Since then, we had so many fun moments, random adventures, hiking trips, meeting each other friends, mostly mine. But I hope one day I can meet his friends too. Harry, I'm seriously glad I met you. You are one of those rare people with a kind heart. And not only with me, but with everyone around you. I am going to miss you so much. But more than anything, I'm grateful for every single moment that we had together. I'm not going to say goodbye. It's more like, I will see you soon. And I'm not telling you this alone, but I love you so much.
Hey everyone, my name is Tenzin.
I'm a Peace Corps volunteer here in Armenia. I've been here for 2 years now. One of the core memories that I have is the camping trip that I organized at my site with a group of volunteers. My site is beautiful. It's a small village with like 200 plus people, and there's beautiful scenery, nature, really quiet. And I was so happy to bring Harry, to bring Laura, George, and so many others, and make it happen. And Harry brought his guitar and he was just jamming, and it was just really fun. And we made all kinds of food and watching the sunset. So looking back, that is definitely one of the core memories that I would never forget.
Harry, man, shout out to 100 Vlogs. It's crazy consistent, so respect to you for that. When I think of my favorite Harry moments, I don't know. I think there's something to tie them all together. But just to name a few, there was rafting here in Vanazor. We did it twice. Camping in Tenzin's village, playing guitar music, eating weenies with sandwich bread because that's all we had. This past New Year's, that was also a great time with some other PCVs, staying out to the wee hours of the morning. Any kind of training hangout that we have, whether it's COS or IST or MST, I always have some really good memories with you there, either just hanging out like at a hotel or going to Calumet and stuff. And I think when I try to connect all the good memories that I have with you, it's really a tribute to your character and all the good qualities you have, man. You're always down to do something. You'll say yes to anything, or you're willing to try anything. You always come with a really good, just good vibes and good energy. You're here to have a good time, and you're here for the people. And it's just like, it really shows. And I think I really realized it way early on, way back when we met at the Denver airport, when you came with your big old hat, and I was like, oh, what's up, dude? You're also a PCV? Oh, nice to meet you, man. And just be like, okay, like this guy's down. He's dressed in some unique clothing. He's got a cool hat on. Like, he's here to live in Armenia, to experience the culture, to create as many memories as possible. And I think you definitely have, and I'm glad to be a part of those memories as well. And you're definitely a good chunk of those for mine. And just, I don't know, you've taught me a lot, man. Shout out for you for putting me on guitar. Definitely. I literally play it every day, and I attribute it to you, man. So little shout out for you for that. But yeah, man, it's been a great time, being along this journey with you. We have so many good times. We had so many good times, and it's bittersweet that it's coming to an end. But I mean, I'll definitely see you like in the US somewhere, probably at some point. But yeah, man, shout out for 100 Vlogs, crazy consistent, and I'll see you at the next good time.
Hi, Jan. Today I would like to share with you some of the beautiful memories we had. I remember the first time I saw you. I think a tall, young, beautiful man with a bird. I remember you trying your best to make me understand with a few Armenian words, հետագան ներկայացնել, ուրեմն երբ արդեն եկար կենտրոն ու սկսեցիր աշխատել երիտասարդների հետ, ես փորձում եմ ամեն ինչ անել, որ դու հարմարվեիր երիտասարդների հետ, քո համար ձանձրալի չլինել ու չկարոտեիր Ամերիկան ու քո ընտանիքը։ Եվ շատ հետաքրքիր էր ծանոթանալ եւ շփվել նոր մշակույթով անձնավորության հետ, ում հետ պետք է եւս 2 տարի աշխատեիր։ Ինձ համար շատ հետաքրքիր աշխատանքային փորձառություն էր ու այն կարևոր էր ոչ միայն որպես աշխատանքային փորձառություն, այլ նաեւ որպես անձնական նոր մշակույթ կրող անձնավորության հետ, որպես ծանոթներ, ընկերներ, գործընկերներ, ուրախ եմ, որ ճանաչել եմ քեզ որպես լավ մարդ, լիքը դրական բնավորության գծերով, տաղանդներով հանդերձ, որ փորձել ես ամեն հարցում օգտակար լինել մեզ, անկախ դրանից դու տվյալ պահին այդ իրավիճակը քեզ ծանոթ է, թե անծանոթ, Քեզ մաղթում եմ հետագա հաջողություններ Ամերիկայում, բայց խնդրելու եմ, որ չմոռանաս մեզ եւ հնարավորության դեպքում նորից վերադառնաս Հայաստան։ Լավագույն մաղթանքներով։
Hi everyone. So whenever Harry asked me to make this video, a lot of ideas and memories came to mind because in the past 2 years there has been so much that has happened in my life and the people that I've met, and there's just been so much. Like 2 years seems like forever here. But I want to start by talking about how much Harry means to me and how much he has like truly been an amazing friend to me. I'm going to try not to cry throughout this, but Harry is the type of guy that will always be there. It didn't matter what I needed to rant, if I needed advice. I could just text him and he was one call away always. Harry's also the type of guy that no matter where we are, if there's drama, he's making it a good time for everyone, which I love that quality about him. He can make everything a good time. One time I remember, like, I think it was his birthday, not this past birthday, but the previous birthday. He came to Vonnetor. We went out to dinner, had a good time, went to our friend Godin's house. And it's just like, you don't have to worry about Harry and like social situations. And yeah, just like they're just from PST, like from when we would go to his host family's house and have parties there, dancing. He's not afraid to dance in front of everybody at the bars. He does not care, which I love that about him. There's so many memories. It's so hard to even like put it all into like one thing. Also, I think my host family likes Harry more than they like me. So, because Harry came for New Year's and they love Harry so much. I'm like, you guys don't even like me that much, but it's whatever. It's fine. It's fine. But truly these past 2 years, like as I reflect, not even just with Harry, but just like Peace Corps in general has brought me like some of the best friends that I think I'll have for the rest of my life. I hope I will have for the rest of my life, no matter where we are in America, in Armenia, in wherever our lives takes us. Oh my goodness. I really hope that we will all stay together. We will just remember the times that we shared, the hardships that we've had to go through. I think Harry and I relate a lot, and we've had a lot of loss in our lives in these past 2 years, especially. But I am really excited to see what the future has for everybody. I'm obviously staying in Armenia for another year, and it's really going to be hard without my support system, and it's really going to be tough for me to adapt because there's going to be a time difference. So if I need Harry or I need anybody else, like it's going to be really hard for me to potentially get in contact with them because the only way that people, like the only people that really understand this situation and like the stresses that come with it are other Peace Corps volunteers. And so that's going to be really hard for me, and I'm really going to miss all of you. Really going to miss my brother, Harry. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the next couple years takes us all. And I'm excited to keep in touch with everybody and have little reunions in the States. And yeah, so thanks for listening.